Here is the actual representation of the visualization of our data and our graphs. To put it together, we used a couple of different technologies. There was Ionic that was used as the overall framework to build the website and also give you some flexibility if you wanted to display it on different devices like a phone or a tablet. Chart.js was the library that we used for the actual visual representations of the data, and we hosted it through Amazon Web Services EC2. For the actual representation, we had our 5 queries, as you can see right here. And the first one, we wanted to take a look at who was being discussed the most during the first debate. As you can see, the conversation did skew heavily towards Donald Trump as opposed to Hillary Clinton, with no mention of either one of the vice presidential candidates. The next one, we wanted to take a look over the debate. Was it just individuals sending out 1 to 2 tweets, or were there people that were just sending out a whole bunch of tweets? And as you can see by the representation, there were a lot of single tweets, followed by a pretty high number of people who sent out 2 to 3, and then very, very few people that sent out massive numbers of tweets throughout the entire time period. This does lead into the further taking a look at the most popular hashtags that were collected, and you'll see most of them were the hashtag debate night, followed up by debates 2016, and then there were a lot of individual ones that dropped off to lower numbers. But the fact that you've got the ones that call out, hey, maybe I'm watching the debate, really tie in to the previous representation that we had before about whether or not a lot of people were tweeting a lot about the debate or just a few people just kind of dominating the discussion. Next interesting one, taking a look back to the overall tweets connected and which candidate was being discussed the most, we wanted to take a look at the sentiment. So we use the sentiment analysis tool, and as you can see, with here we can turn off the representation and see just Clinton or just Trump if we want to take a look at either one of the individual people. And taking a look at it, you can see that even though Trump had more tweets than Clinton, their representation and the sentiment amount, both of them, was virtually identical, with Clinton actually skewing slightly higher to the negative. So it's very, very interesting now that we know the results of the election to see that Trump was talked about more, skewed slightly lower negatively, and he ended up winning the election, though Clinton did have the victory in the popular vote. Our final one was the timing of the tweets. And this we think would lead to a very good further analysis. As you can take a look, obviously a lot of tweets occurred at the beginning of the debate, but there were spikes throughout. So further analysis to see what actually lined up time-wise in conversation with the debate, we think would lead to further detail. And that's kind of the representation of all of our queries and what they look like visually.